I think we're 1 minute to go, but I don't know. I haven't heard a single time check. One minute. I haven't heard any checks. Yeah, counts. Two. Well, I haven't heard any counts. Should I be hearing counts? Hello and welcome to Sicily for the team presentation ahead of the 103rd edition of the Corsa Rossa. Giro d'Italia 2020 finally gets underway here in southern Italy on this coming Saturday afternoon. We're in the sumptuous surroundings of the Tempio di Segesta, the imposing temple on the western tip of Sicily, where 22 teams of 8 riders are making their final preparations ahead of almost 3,500 kilometers of racing over the next 3 weeks. And the presentation's being made and the guests are taking their places. Reduced number of guests, as you might expect, in this extraordinary year. We were, of course, to be in Budapest, but we're delighted to be in Sicily for the 9th time of asking for a Gran Partenze. And this is what they're racing for. The official presentation of the jerseys being made. The white jersey, the young rider classification, began in 1976, ran until 1994. It was reintroduced in 2007 and is, of course, awarded to the leading rider on general classification under 25 years of age. Miguel Angel Lopez has won for the past 2 years. Colombian riders have won this jersey on 5 of the last 8 occasions. Well, the blue jersey, or maglia azzurra, is for the climbers category. Began in 1933. It was a green jersey that was awarded to the best climber from 1974 to 2011. Since then, it has been blue. Reigning champion Giulio Ciccone is back this year, but will he have the same ambition? Well, the maglia ciclamino, named after the cyclamen flower, it's been that colour more often than not since then. Awarded to the most consistent finisher. This is certainly one for the fast men. Most wins in this jersey, Francesco Moser, Giuseppe Soroni, took 4 in their extraordinary battle back in the 1970s and 80s. Points competition began back in 1958. They only started giving jerseys in 1967. Maglia Rossa, first awarded in 1931 when Francesco Camuso was the overall winner. It is, of course, pink to reflect the colour of the pages of Gazzetta dello Sport, the publication which created the event in 1909. That's the one they're going for. Pink colours of Gazzetta dello Sport, publication which, of course, maintains its connection to this event right to this day. Oh, it's an event that, of course, has so many more classifications than many other events. And the jersey colours have changed a little bit over the years, but it's that pink one they're going for. That's the main focus of attention over the next 3 weeks. And this is what they're racing for. More particularly, this is the Extraordinary Trophy, one of the most beautiful trophies in world sport, I think you'll agree. Let's get a look at the Trofeo Senza Fine, the never-ending, the eternal trophy. Well, it was there earlier. I thought someone had pinched it for a moment. They've decided they're going to bring it out in this dramatic way along the walkway. It's 9.5 kilograms in weight, so need to have done a little bit of core fitness in order to hang on to this one. I can assure you the rider that gets to raise it aloft in Milan in 3 weeks' time it's going to be one of the tougher questions physically that they're asked that day. 18 karat gold, plated copper. It's 20.4 centimeters in diameter, 53.5 centimeters tall. It is, of course, the extraordinary thing that is the Trofeo Senza Fine. Who's going to get their name etched into that beautiful trophy at the end of 3 tough weeks of racing, 3,500 kilometers, and you got to be the one to get your name. Look at the names etched: Merckx, Indurain, Gimondi. Stretching all the way back to Ghana, first winner back in 1909. So now we're going to hear very shortly from Manlio, I should say, Messina, the councillor for the Tourism, Sports and Performing Arts of the Regione Siciliana, who is, I suspect, delighted to bring this event to us today. Good evening, Anthony. There's the beautiful setting of the theatre of Segesta, which is just on the hillside above us here. Going to get a great presentation of Greek theatre coming up in a little while as well. This is, of course, the local RAI commentator who's just going to give us a few ideas and insights into the sort of event that we're going to have over the next 3 weeks. The kind of thing he's telling us, of course, is that we've got 21 stages, 3,497.9 kilometers of bike racing, 50 classified climbs along the way, 6 tough summit finishes, including, of course, 3 time trials. So it really is a race of great variety. Plenty for the sprinters, plenty for the attacking riders. And a big GC fight in amongst that as well. And this is Manlio Messina, the councillor for the Tourism, Sports and Performing Arts from the Siciliana region, who's going to say a few words in welcoming Corsa Rossa to Sicily once more. 9th time that the island has played host to the Gran Partenze of Giro d'Italia. Stepped into the breach somewhat, of course. The intention was that we'd be in Budapest, but it's no chore, I tell you, to have to come to Sicily once more. So Signor Messina, of course, expressing his great pride at being able to play host to this event once more. And no doubt everyone associated with the event is very grateful indeed as well for the fantastic welcome that everyone is getting, the bike riders included, to this wonderful, extraordinary setting. We've got 4 days of racing, of course, in Sicily, starting on Saturday with that time trial. Monreale down into the streets of Palermo. 15.1 kilometers, little grippy little climb and then downhill. Race through Agrigento on day 2, and then the summit finish at Etna coming early in this one, isn't it, on day 3. So time to introduce you to some bike riders. 22 teams in total. 19 World Tour squads. And of course we've got 3 invited teams from the Pro Tour level, Division 2. First team up on stage is, of course, the Androni Giocattoli Sidermec squad from Italy, perennially at the top of the standings in the Italian Cup, and that wins them the honour by right to take part in this event. Marching up on stage, Mattia Bais, Alessandro Bisolti, Jefferson Capeda, Luca Chirico, Simon Peo of Switzerland, Simone Ravanelli, Jonathan Restrepo from Colombia, and Josip Rumac leading them up on stage, the Croatian national road race champion. I think we're going to see several of these riders in the early breakaways over the next 3 weeks. That is typically the way that the Androni Giocattoli Sidermec squad of Gianni Savio plays it, and they very often manage to produce stage victories. Always a very combative outfit, and they almost always justify their position in the race with some wonderful attacking racing. So first team that can head home for their pasta and prepare for the battle on Saturday. Androni Giocattoli Sidermec. Beautiful weather conditions here in Sicily. What a fantastic place to start the race. I can tell you it's been sort of between 24 and 30 degrees centigrade all day, and it's just into the cool evening sun now. It's just the edge has come off the heat, and it really is a beautiful setting up here in the hillsides, inland, on the western tip of the island of Sicily. Team 2, well, we've got the Movistar squad. Spanish team have among their number a Spanish climber, Hector Carretero. Dario Cataldo is their Italian representative. There's a couple of Italians in there. Davide Vieira as well. Also among their number, Antonio Pedrero, Einar Rubio, the Colombian rider, Sergio Semitier of Spain, Eduardo Sepulveda of Argentina, and the trackman Albert Torres. Let's see how he gets on. Spaniard with Movistar, making up their 8. And all eyes, of course, will be on Dario Cataldo to see how he can perform. Stage honours, certainly, you would suggest, are well within his compass. That's the Movistar squad. Next team up to be presented to the crowd, diminished in number, but still a decent-sized number of dignitaries and special guests have been invited up to this wonderful temple, which dates, I can tell you, to the 3rd century BC. It took about 30 years to create. Very much Greek in architecture and creation. Who's next into the Thunderdome? Well, it's Bardiani, CSF Faizane, the Italian Pro Tour squad, Division 2 outfit, another that punches above its weight perennially at its home tour. Wonderfully distinctive jerseys, always easy to pick out, and look absolutely fabulous, don't they? Giovanni Carboni, Luca Covilli, Filippo Fiorelli, Giovanni Lonardi, Fabio Mazzucco, Francesco Romano, Alessandro Tonelli, and Filippo Zana. It's an all-Italian lineup. And indeed, there are 2 Diez's, Mirko Rozzato and Roberto Reverberi, also Italian. So no doubt about the language that they'll be speaking around dinner each day. Youngest team in the race as well, if you tot up their ages by average. Again, another squad that tends to develop wonderful talent. Now, next into the cauldron. A squad with big changes afoot. It is, as Anthony has told us, the African squad, South African registered team. And their South African climber, Louis Menkes, is back in the fold in recent times. And climbing well, he's not hard to pick out, is he? Not exactly the tallest member of their group. Louis Menkes is accompanied by Victor Campenarts, who look to the time trials. Don't rule it out. Emmanuel Gabriel-Zabir has been performing great distinction recently in Italian stage races. Ben O'Connor, Domenico Pozzovivo, another diminutive climber of some great ability. And while he's in the twilight of his career, don't be at all surprised if we won't get a decent performance or two out of Domenico Pozzovivo. The scholarly Italian, there he is, smiling and waving. Accompanied, of course, by Matteo Sobrero, Dylan Sutherland, Danilo Vis, is the Swiss rider in there. And a team that's set to lose its lead sponsor, so they're on the lookout for a title sponsor for the 2021 season. Don't be surprised to see some very aggressive racing from NTT Pro Cycling over the next 3 weeks. Now they're heralded up on stage. It's the Israel Startup Nation squad. This is a team that has really burst on the scene in the last few years, hasn't it? They have made a real name for themselves, not just in their performances on the road, but the acquisitions as well of some very, very impressive riders. And they have got a lineup, the Israel Startup Nation squad, that's certainly set to do some pretty impressive things, I think, in the flat stages, the ones for the sprinters. They've got Rudy Barbier of France. Watch out for Davide Cimolai, the local man. Also a very fast finisher. And Rick Zabel of Germany. And they can mix and match depending on who's got good legs on the day. And they will change their lineup, change their lead out to suit who is going to be the fastest of their options. So don't rule out stage win. I think they come for decent stage success. And also watch out for Alex Dowsett, former stage winner in the Tour of Italy. And Alex is got his Osmo to try and get the shots from the podium. Oh, that's how Alex actually, and a quick glance at Trofeo Senza Fine. Dowsett fourth in the World Championship time trial of 2019 in Yorkshire, and a former stage winner in the Giro d'Italia as well back in 2013. Matthias Brendle as well among their number, former world hour record holder. He can turn a good time trial on his day. And Guy Sagiv is the Israeli representative in the Israel Startup Nation squad. Well, next up we will see the representatives of Lotto Soudal, 8 riders. Belgian registered team, and it's a strong Belgian representation as well. 3 riders from Belgium in there, including Sander Arme, Thomas de Gent, the breakaway superstar, and Harm van Hoek. Also watch out for Jonathan Dibben of Great Britain. Carl Frederick Hagen of Norway will surely be up the road. Adam Hansen, the veteran Australian rider, is going to give his experience to emerging riders such as Matt Holmes, who's been climbing very impressively of late. The young British rider in his first year in the World Tour. And Stefano Oldani is the Italian representative on the Lotto Soudal squad, a team that is changing in structure a little bit in terms of team personnel going into next year. 1 or 2 riders here, I think, will be certainly very, very keen to put themselves in the shop window, give themselves an opportunity to secure a decent deal for next year. Very experienced rider, Sander Arme. He knows how to get around 3 tough weeks, 3,500 kilometers of racing. So next squad up as we say adieu, and we'll see them again in a couple of days' time, to the Lotto Soudal squad. We welcome up on stage very shortly Vinny Zabu, Bradu KTM, the Italian Pro Tour outfit, another second division team. On an invite, and they always are grateful for the invitation, so expect to see Giovanni Visconti in the battle for stage honours. He's done it in the past. Who will bet against him repeating the alchemy? Simone Bevilacqua, also there for Italy. Marco Frapporte, Lorenzo Rota, Matteo Sperefico, Etienne Van Empel from the Netherlands, Luca Wackerman and Eduardo Zantini are the riders representing Luca Scinto's Vinny Zabu Bradu KTM squad. Francesco Frassi also de-essing for that team across the 3 weeks. And all eyes, I think, will be on Giovanni Visconti, who showed some pretty good form towards the back end of Tirreno Adriatico, and you get the sense that he's a veteran towards the back end of his career for sure, but multinational road race champion and a rider capable of coming up with a big result on the day. He's done it in the past, former stage winner. So great combination of youth and experience with Vinny Zabu. Marco Frapporte as well, such a talented rider. Next squad up, we're looking forward to seeing Bahrain McLaren. A World Tour outfit with great strength and depth. Although perhaps not one standout GC contender for them. Here's your lineup. Yukiya Arashiro, a Japanese veteran, is there to do battle. Enrico Battiglin knows how to get to the line better than most. He's a man for stage honours. Can he repeat his glories of the past? And Peo Bilbao, of course, took a stage victory last year when he was in the colour of the Astana squad. I wonder if Bilbao will target overall. Will he go for stages? Will he go for both? Eros Kopecky knows how to get to the line first. Domen Novak, Mark Padun, Herman Bernsteiner and Jan Tratnik complete their lineup. Franco Pelazzotti, known to many in Italy, of course, will be the DS, and he'll be joined in team car duties by Alberto Volpi. Tall figure of Eros Kopecky is a man to be conjured with. And Peo Bilbao waving to the crowd. Will surely have targeted this event. As Bahrain McLaren take their leave, we prepare for the arrival of the next squad up on stage. To be a bit of a cheer for at least one of their representatives, because Team Cofidis are about to arrive up. And they've got two Italian riders in their lineup. Simona Consoni will be known to many fans of Italian bike racing, but it's Elia Viviani, former winner of Maglia Ciclamino. Did it just a couple of years ago in the colours of the Quick Step outfit at that time. Well, now he is with the French-registered Cofidis team, and Elia Viviani, fresh, if that is the right word, from the Tour de France. He, I suspect, is a rider who will look to rekindle the flame a little bit on home soil over the next 3 weeks. Didn't quite get the win that he would have liked in France, but it's been a peculiar year, and he may well just have benefited from the 3 weeks of racing. How has he managed to recover, or indeed keep the legs turning over the last couple of weeks? Nicolas Ede in there as well, Nathan Haas of Australia, Jesper Hansen, Matthias Letournier, Marco Matisse, Stefan Rossetto. That's your lineup for Team Cofidis. Sebastian Chavanel and Roberto Damiani in the cars for them. Elia Viviani looks like he's looking forward to getting into battle, doesn't he? Yeah, he picks out a smile. Stripes on his sleeve, of course, denoting the fact that he's a former European road race champion. And nothing less, I think, than stage success, maybe even another Maglia Ciclamino. Is he going all the way to Milan in 3 weeks? And we welcome Elia to Sicily. Well, you took your first great victory at the Giro 5 years ago, and then you repeated that 4 times. What's so magical about the Giro to you? Well, if that's the only thing that goes wrong for Elia Viviani this week, it won't be a problem at all, will it? Struggling a little bit to hear what the great man has got to say. Suffice it to say, I'm sure he's just thrilled to be back on home soil. 5 stage victories and an overall success in the points competition. Maglia Ciclamino likes that colour. Who'd rule it out? Got a new microphone. Let's see if this one works. So, well, the Giro for an Italian rider is a race of dreams. Winning the Giro more so after the wonderful stage in Genoa that I was hunting for many years. In 2018, it was my dream. I'm here again to live that dream as a protagonist, just like 2 years ago. Yeah, points jersey would solve that one, wouldn't it? And for the Cofidis squad, their ambitions are loftier these days. Has been a peculiar season, though, hasn't it? So many riders finding form, others taking a little while to get it. So next squad up will be the EF Pro Cycling team. Great squad of all-rounders for a US registered team. They've got 2 US riders on their squad, Sean Bennett and Lawson Craddock. They'll be joined by Ecuador's Jonathan Caicedo, Simon Clark of Australia, Ruben Guerrero from Portugal, Tanel Kangert of Estonia, Lachlan Morton of Australia, and another Aussie, James Whelan. What about that? There'll be no clashes with the Maglia Rosa here, will there? Spider's web construction, it's fantastic, isn't it? Wonderful new jersey for the EF Pro Cycling squad. Will it bring them luck? Funky new colour scheme on the bike too. All change in appearance. Will it be all change for that squad? Jonathan Caicedo, easy to pick out as the Ecuadorian national road race champion. And we'll watch out for some stellar performances from the likes of Simon Clark, Sean Bennett. Caicedo will surely throw his hat in the ring when the hills appear. Tanel Kangert has been on some fine form of late. Next squad up, Groupama FDJ. French team, the French World Tour squad. They brought Arnaud Demar back into battle 12 months after his wonderful stage success. Second in the points competition as well in the Giro d'Italia of 2019. And he's had a pretty good season so far as well. Arnaud Demar, it's a little bit controversial that he didn't go to the Tour de France, wasn't it? With his Groupama FDJ squad, they put all their eggs in the GC basket. And Arnaud Demar will have the great honour of wearing that French national road race champions jersey. He was winning them for fun, winning races for fun, wasn't he, for about a week or so at the resumption of hostilities after the long lockdown. It's all about Arnaud Demar, you feel. Very much a team for stage honours. Well, he's one of the fastest riders in the world, the French national road race champion. Well, you won a stage in the 2019 Giro. I think the beginning of your season in 2020 was brilliant. You won Milan-Turin. What is your, what's the team goal and what's your own goal? Well, the goal is to race stage by stage. And then if we're going to win some stages, well, that would be well, that's your lineup for the French outfit. Arnaud Demar, Kylian Franchini, Jacopo Garnieri will help Demar. Simon Guglielmi, Ignatius Konovalovas, Miles Scottson, Raymond Sinkeldam will also be part of the lead-out train. Benjamin Thomas, he'll be up the road. Don't doubt it. So we're going to have a brief interlude. We'll bring the remaining 11 teams to you very shortly, but I mentioned that Greek theatre, which is up on the hillside near here. We're going to have a presentation of Greek theatre very shortly. Theatre of Segesta dates from the 3rd century BC. It's on the highest peak of Mount Barbera. And we've got some protagonists of Greek theatre who've come down from the hillside towards the temple, going to give us a demonstration of the sort of thing we would have seen 2,000–3,000 years ago. Huge Greek heritage, of course, and Greek culture in this part of the world. Used to be a holiday destination for the Greeks once upon a time. Nothing much has changed. Well, let's sit back and enjoy. That's remarkable, wasn't it? It's certainly been the year of the mask, and I don't think that was entirely Greek, but it was an absolutely fantastic presentation of wonderful local theatre by the Theatre of Segesta. Oh, what a setting, what an occasion. Starting to cloud over it here a little bit, but still nice and warm, and we certainly hope and expect that the weather will hold, because the roof not here on this extraordinary temple at Segesta. There's the theatre that I mentioned up on the hillside, not far from here, on Mount Barbaro. 3rd century BC, and various different theatrical and drama productions have been presented here since then. So we got another 11 teams to present to you very shortly. Perhaps the winner of the Trofeo Senza Fine will be among the number. Next squad up on stage very shortly is a team with ambitions in the overall this year. Team Jumbo-Visma. There's the lineup, and led, of course, by Stefan Kruijswijk. Everyone will remember 2016. Kruijswijk crashing out while apparently heading towards victory. Such a disappointment to him. Just riding into that snowdrift that time. He's joined by Koen Bouwman, Tobias Vos, Chris Harper, Tony Martin. Big engine on the front of the peloton for much of the next 3 weeks. Christoph Finkston, Antoine Tolhoek. Performed with great distinction last year in the service of Primoz Roglic. And Jos van Emden, former stage winner, of course, won the time trial in Milan in 2017. It is a squad of great ability and great experience. Big wave from the Panzerwagen. Kruijswijk is a rider who tends to perform with great consistency. He's 33 now. You feel if it's going to happen for him. This is a great opportunity, certainly for a podium finish in a squad that went so close indeed, didn't it, to taking the victory in Tour de France a few short weeks ago. Would salve the wound a little bit, wouldn't it, if they were to come up with the glory here in Italy. Team Sunweb next up. What's their walk-on music like? Wilco Kelderman will lead the charge for the German squad with a big Dutch representation, of course. Wilco Kelderman from the Netherlands will be the man for GC, but watch out as well for Sam Omen, young rider on the way up, and he's also a very strong rider who I think will likely be protected and have his own opportunities for general classification. Nico Denz, Chad Hage, can't forget his final stage last year. Christopher Hamilton, Jai Hindley, and Michael Matthews, of course, for the sprints, maybe for the points classification as well. Martin Tusveld. Team of all-rounders. They've got GC opportunities. They've got a chance in the sprints from this man Michael Matthews, and they'll surely be involved in the battle on those stages that are going to go to the riders up the road in the breakaways. That was the way they played it in France. Nico Denz gave it a good go for stage victory last year. And, of course, Chad Hage with that final stage success in the time trial. Career-defining stuff for him. It's a wonderfully experienced, extremely talented lineup for Team Sunweb. Next squad up. Another one of our French representatives. It's AG Tour Le Mondial. That's their lineup. Tony Galopin, former stage winner of the Tour de France. He's looking to complete the set, really. He's also taken victory on stages of the Vuelta a España. Went oh so close last year, just missing out. But second place finish on that occasion has told him that he can do it again at some stage, maybe get that win. François Bidard, Jeffrey Bouchard, Ben Gestar, Jaakko Hänninen, his first Giro. Aurélien Paré-Pontre from the conveyor belt of French emerging talent. Andrea Vendrame from the host nation. And Larry Warbass, the former US national road race champion who has tasted World Tour success. There's Larry Warbass. Stage victory in Tour de Suisse a few years ago. First Finn in the race for quite a while. Ben Gestar from Luxembourg. It's a squad pretty much lined up for stage honours. That's the way they're going to play it. No obvious standout general classification contender for AG Tour Le Mondial. But plenty of quality. Got that victory last year, of course, courtesy of Nance Peters. So AG Tour Le Mondial, they've plenty to get excited about. What about CCC, though? It's a team that is going to change radically next year. CCC are on the way out. They get some good news recently. They have been taken over. But how many of those riders will still be in that squad lineup next year? Well, Ilnur Zakarin is a man who can deliver. He's done it in the past. Stage victory in 2019. Took the win to Cerosole Reale at Lagos Seru. And in their lineup, Attilo Walter, who's in absolutely flying form. Overall success in his home Tour of Hungary of late. And I think Attilo Walter is certainly a rider to watch out for. Victor Delapart, Joey Roscoff, Joseph Cherny, Pavel Kojetkov, Kamil Maletsky. That's the lineup for the CCC squad, which will focus their attention, I think, on Ilnur Zakarin, 5th in 2017. He's been in the wars of late, and I think he would really enjoy an opportunity to come back to the Giro d'Italia and show what he's made of. Big mountain stages offering him that opportunity. So next one up is the De Koning Quick-Step team, perennial stage winners in this event. And they've got some potential GC riders. Watch out for the likes of João Almeida, the young Portuguese rider, second in the Baby Giro, the Giro d'Italia for under-23 riders just 2 years ago. This is his first Corsa Rossa, so I think João Almeida will certainly be one to watch out for. James Knox as well as an emerging talent for Great Britain, likely to be a protected rider, but a lot of focus I think will be on how Fausto Masnada is going to perform, stepping up to the World Tour this year with the De Koning Quick-Step team. And Fausto Masnada, already a stage winner in his home Grand Tour, took the stage win into San Giovanni Rotondo last year, which helped to rubber stamp him as a standout rider from his generation. Masnada's been in some terrific form of late. Knocks for the hills. Kais is going to be part of the squad organising the lead-outs. Will they be for Davide Ballerini or will it be for Alvaro Hodge? Colombian with Scots heritage is a pretty fast finisher, but so too is this man, Ballerini. And Almeida's one for the future. His first Giro d'Italia, it'll be a learning experience for him. Interesting to see how he gets through the 3 weeks, what he learns and what he shows us. More GC contenders in the next team that will be presented to us. The Astana Pro team from Kazakhstan. No Kazakh riders in their lineup, but it's a very, very strong selection. Jakob Fuglsang at 35 years of age. Can the Dane come up with a big GC result? It's only a second Giro d'Italia. Traditionally doesn't necessarily get the 3 weeks, but he's been in stellar form. What a fantastic Il Lombardia at the beginning of the new season, or the second half of the season, from Jakob Fuglsang. Winner, of course, of Liège-Bastogne-Liège in the past. But watch out, too, for Alexander Vlasov, 5th in Tirreno Adriatico. And the 24-year-old Russian rider is going to be, at the very least, a contender for the white jersey if he gets through the 3 weeks. And, of course, Miguel Angel Lopez, another GC man to watch out for. Fabio Fellini, Rodrigo Contreras, Manuela Boado is going to do a lot of the legwork on the front of the peloton. Jonas Gregard, Oscar Rodriguez. But it's a squad that produced stage wins and stage success last year. And you can rest assured, well, that's a squad that will be in the thick of the hunt throughout the 3 weeks coming up. Next team up is a squad with different ambitions. UAE Team Emirates are called to the stage. There's your lineup for the UAE Team Emirates squad that are shortly going to make their appearance in front of assembled guests and dignitaries. Diego Elisi among their number. Italian hasn't been in absolutely top form of late. Will it be for stage wins for him? Will he work his way into it? I think the man who's leading them onto the stage is going to have an absolutely massive role in the next 3 weeks. Max Ricchesi, the Argentinian national road race champion, is going to have a big job of leading out the great Fernando Gaviria. And Fernando Gaviria, of course, winner of the Maglia Ciclaminos, winner of the points competition back in 2017. He and Max Ricchesi have formed a wonderful partnership over the last few years. Juan Sebastian Milano will also be attempting to assist Fernando Gaviria. And Brandon McNulty will have his opportunities on the hills. Valerio Conti, what a great year he had last year. Spent so many days in the pink jersey. Joe Dombrowski will be one to watch and great rider to have. Mikael Bjerg as well. So the rider gets all the attention is Diego Elisi. Will he be the preeminent UAE Team Emirates rider at the conclusion of 3 weeks? Well, next team up has a squad dripping with talent and ability and an overall contender, as well as riders we're expected to see in the hunt for stage honours, particularly in the time trials. Geraint Thomas is the undisputed leader of the Team Ineos squad. The winner of the Tour de France in 2018, second in Le Grand Boucle in 2019. His last visit to Giro d'Italia ending somewhat disappointingly for him with a crash. So he has a bit of unfinished business with Corsa Rosa. And Geraint Thomas, disappointed at the time not to be able to go to the Tour de France, but he's honed his form very nicely indeed with a great second place finish in Tirreno Adriatico. And his performance in that event suggests that he was really timing his emergence as a Grand Tour contender in Tour of Italy this year. Just honing it very nicely indeed. Geraint Thomas is going to be accompanied by Jonathan Castroviejo, Rowan Dennis, Theo Geoghegan for the mountains. Watch out too for Filippo Ganna. He's a big unit. He's a world champion. On the track, he's a world champion on the road as well. Absolutely destroyed the field in the Tirreno Adriatico time trial, including Rowan Dennis himself, a world champion of 2019. Jonathan Narvaez is a great rider to be able to call him. Ben Swift has a big engine as well. And when we hear from Geraint Thomas, it'll be interesting to hear whether, and I think we are indeed going to hear a few words from the Welshman, Geraint Thomas. Well, Filippo, just a few days ago, you made history by winning the individual time trial world championship. We were missing that jersey in our country. Instead of 2 days, instead of wearing the rainbow jersey, the initial stage suits you particularly. Have you thought of perhaps winning the pink jersey? Sure. It's an important race. We'll do our best to deliver our goals. Sure, our main goal is, of course, for general classification. He stoops to conquer. Yeah, fair play to Filippo Ganna in making it to the microphone. He's a big, tall, imposing figure, and what an engine. What great work he did in Tirreno Adriatico and dragging Geraint Thomas through to the front of the bunch in those testing and dangerous flat stages and protecting his team leader. And they really have a great all-round outfit for the for general classification. So Geraint Thomas, one of the GC contenders. He'll look to take first title in Italy. He's going to be up against Mitchell and Scott, though, and they have an absolutely fabulous lineup. And they perhaps are the pre-event favourites. Who would argue with that one? Simon Yates looked to be on course for victory, didn't he? led for 13 days back in 2018. Unfortunately for him, the wheels fell off a little bit. 3 stage wins along the way. Wasn't able to repeat the alchemy in 2019, but looks to be back to something like his very, very best form. Great success in the Tirreno Adriatico just a few weeks ago. And the Mitchell and Scott squad, pretty much the Tirreno Adriatico lineup that produced that victory. Among their number, Cam Meyer, the Australian national champion. Damien Howson will be there in the climbs. Watch out for Michael Hepburn's good tester as well. He'd be a good man on the flat. Lucas Hamilton there in the mountains for Simon Yates. Jack Haig can do a job and when the road goes up as well. Brent Bookwalter, similarly skilled. Eduardo Affini. Well, watch out for Eduardo Affini in the time trial on day 1. But it's all about Simon Yates, Vuelta a España champion of 2018. He's a man of few words, isn't he? The man from Bury in Lancashire. Likes to let his legs do the talking. And they're pretty eloquent, aren't they, when they get going? Because his success this year, in recent times, in Tirreno Adriatico, suggesting that he can be once more a challenger in Corsa Rosa. That's your lineup for the Mitchell and Scott squad. Just 2 teams left to introduce you to. Next up, penultimate squad on the stage tonight, Bora Hansgrohe. Well, the Bora Hansgrohe squad, they have sent him into battle once more. Peter Sagan has honoured his commitment to take part in Giro d'Italia on the back of 21 tough days in France of late. And he's a man who has enjoyed his visits to Tour of Italy in the past. I wonder, will he go all 3 weeks? Will he perhaps be a man to challenge for Maglia Ciclamina? Missing out on the points in France recently, might just fancy, and of course with the Tour de France not coming afterwards, he might just fancy going all 3 weeks and seeing whether he can really challenge. I think we're going to have an interesting battle for Maglia Ciclamina over the next few weeks. It's not all about Peter Sagan though, because Rafa Majka is another man in fine form, 3rd in Tirreno Adriatico, suggesting that Bora Hansgrohe have decent potential in general classification. Cesare Benedetti won a stage here 12 months ago. Maciej Bodnar. Matteo Fabro is a young rider who did a great ride in the final stage of Tirreno. Patrick Gamper, Patrick Conrad, Pavel Polyansky. It's a great all-round squad. But those rainbow stripes around the sleeves and indeed around the collar of Peter Sagan's jersey, I think, tells you the status of a man 3 times a world champion. He's a big hero in this part of the world. He's always going to get the big intro. Well, Peter, you're very welcome to the Giro d'Italia. It's a country that you love. You have loads of fans in Italy. What are you expecting from this Giro? Are you already aiming at the Maglia Ciclamina? Yes, I'm very happy to be here. Good evening, everyone, and thank you. Thank you for this welcome. Yes, I'm here for the first time. Expectation. It's better not to have an expectation, so I'm surprised if anything comes. Peter, you've got quite a team by your side with some ambitions in terms of general classification or other stage victories. Yes, for sure. We came in the best condition, I think. Our leader, Rafa Maika, for GC, and I will try, if I can win any stage, we'll see day by day, to see whether I can fight for Maglia Ciclamino. But we'll see in the next days. Well, thank you very much to Peter Sagan. We'll be seeing much of the great Slovakian over the next 3 weeks. Just one team left to present to you, and not surprisingly, they've saved what many people in this part of Italy believe is the very best until last. Trek Segafredo to the stage. It's a US registered team, but the local fans have eyes for only one rider. Indeed, huge Italian representation in this team. And of course, among their number, the great Vincenzo Nibali. Twice a winner of this event, and he always brings his very best to the Giro d'Italia. He has been on the podium 6 times since 2010. Indeed, he's never finished lower than 3rd in all his visits, all his 6 visits since 2010. The Shark of Messina, born not so far from here. He's a local hero. It's an American registered team, so no surprise we've got the Stars and Stripes. No US riders in their lineup. Mostly Italians indeed. Accompanying Nibali up on stage, we've got Julian Bernard, Gianluca Brambilla, Giulio Ciccone. What about GC potential for him too? Nicolo Conci, Jacopo Mosca, Antonio Nibali, and Peter Weening of the Netherlands, a former Giro d'Italia stage winner himself. Proud moment for both Nibali brothers. Jacopo Mosca is a great all-rounder. Man to watch out in the fast finishes. Nicolo Conci was very prominent on one of those wet mountain stages last year. Well, he won the climbing competition 12 months ago. I wonder if Giulio Ciccone will be minded to go for that again. Or will his focus be on stage victories, or perhaps even a little bit more? Well, Gianluca Brambilla has delivered in the past. Knows how to get around this race. Julian Bernard, another man for the breakaways, a great climber. El Squalo de Messina, the palmares of this man is pretty extraordinary. Unequaled in this bicycle race. He's won all 3 Grand Tours. Let's hear from him now. Well, Vincenzo Nibali is the rider with the most expectations in this race. This is a special Giro for you. It's your homeland, your people, your roads, indeed. Because every day starting Giro d'Italia from Sicily, it's not an everyday occurrence. For me, it is certainly a great emotion. There's going to be a climb very soon, the Etna Mount, where you've trained a lot. Yes, of course. It's another side to Etna that we're climbing, so we'll see. We need to start with the right food. We're here to try and do our best. Many Italian riders on the team. Yes, many Italian riders, but it's an American team. Trek Segafredo. It's also important to have Italians with Segafredo as sponsor. Well, Vincenzo, did you explain to your teammates the beauties of Sicily, the cuisine? Well, it's better not to talk about cuisine these days. We're focused on a very special diet. And I don't know whether we're going to have any time to see the beauties, but while we're racing, we will raise our eyes and we will see some beautiful roads. Big expectation always on the shoulders of Vincenzo Nibali. He's 35 years of age now, but he always brings his A game to his home event. That's all 22 teams of 8 riders. Just leave it up to the masters of ceremonies to complete the formalities. Well, that's it. 21 stages ahead of the riders. It all kicks off on Saturday. Please do join us then. when it started, it was, that's it. Like when it started, they were turning it up and down and up.
Yeah.
Could you hear it? It was going wow, wow.
We checked everything in the early afternoon.
Yeah.
But when he sent the stone, he closed everything.
You have to start again and do the sound.
Yeah.
What the fuck? It's no problem. Now I have other things to do. Heading back to town. Do you have to stay here, or are you heading back?
Oh, we're going to Palermo now.
Yeah, I don't know what that theatre presentation was, but it wasn't freaking. I don't know what it was. Let's just work on the possibility that no one was actually watching. Hey Scott, how's it going? You well? Good, yeah, no, I was just giving you a shout. So I've done a voice for the time trial, but I think has Quiva May now actually won the junior women's. So we're doing highlights. So I just need to know, do I do it again, or what's the story? So I got a final results from Gary, and it said that Quiva May had won the junior women's, Lucy O'Donnell was third. And then I got another one, a second final results, which came a little while later, that had Lucy O'Donnell winning from Quiva May. And then right. So what happened there? Did Lucy? They give her the wrong time, and then she argued it, and they fixed it, and then they weren't able to, and then they had, and then fucking Una May came and told them they better change it back, something like that, was it? I bet you they got the time wrong, but they knew Lucy had gone faster because someone was able to say no, this is the time she did, but they couldn't fucking officially change it because they'd made a balls of their own timing, something along that lines. Okay, well I'm up a mountain in Sicily, so I'm gonna sit in the car and do another voice and try and get that over to Georgie, and hopefully she's able to read